Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
Jacob Wile 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we find ourselves on the cusp of Disney's big venture into the world of streaming, even courting a war in the process, we thought it'd be nice to stay up to date on the ever-growing catalog and rule on what's a must or a bust on Disney Plus. And tonight, zombies! What if zombies? All right, so interestingly enough, guys, just gonna jump right into the poll on this one because it was an interesting result. According to y'all on the community poll, this is dead last so far. This is the only one that got a 4 out of 5 as far as the majority of the votes go instead of a 5 out of 5. And I got to tell y'all, it's like that's fine. Subjectivity and everything. Connor Nielsen, of course, has a particularly spicy take that I'll read here once we all get our thesis statements out of the way. But I got to tell you guys, this was by far my favorite episode, and it's not even really that close. I love this thing. Is it tonally a bit all over the place? Sure. Is the plot a little all over the place? Yeah. But two things about this. If it was just one or the other, it might not be my favorite episode, but because it's both, it is my favorite episode. Number one, I really feel like they do the Marvel zombie stuff to its fullest potential. Like, to me, it really is kind of like a wish fulfillment of seeing Marvel zombies on screen. It's honestly like pretty much everything I could have hoped for. Number two, this is, I honestly say this with no exaggeration, this is my favorite depiction of Spider-Man in the MCU so far. Yes, it is partly because of the name drop of Uncle Ben, sure, but it's also the pathos surrounding it. It's like for the first time in the MCU, besides the obvious Infinity War moment, I really felt for Peter Parker. And also, him being the horror movie fan in the zombie movie, oh my God, just perfect. Just perfect. Jacob, I love the thumbnail. You and I are on the same wavelength. It's so Peter Parker. It's classic. So as a Spider-Man fan, I love this episode. As a fan of Marvel Zombies as a concept, I love this episode. But I'm all over the place with it. So just to shout out in the comments, we have Honeybee here, or Ellie B, and also Monkey says, I see this episode's title and instinctively hear Mayor Adam West. What if zombies?
Nobody messes with Adam Wee.
Nobody messes with Adam Wee.
I'll get all the A's out of my body.
So Ellie says, I am one of the people who voted for, though I think lower my ranking of some of the earlier episodes. I'm still a fan of this one despite my vote. Yeah, like I said, Ellie, it's totally fine. I'm just saying, like, all film is subjective or not, to quote, is subjective, to quote the great John Campea. But, this is personally, like, this just struck all the boxes for me as both just a Spider-Man fan and a zombie fan. I love this episode. I really do. I honestly think all the other episodes are going to have a hard time topping this. All right.
Jacob, do you want to go next?
I would say this definitely is up there with my favorites too. Honestly, it's hard to say. Maybe last week's episode, but honestly, this episode does have a lot going for it as well. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Spider-Man as well. I wouldn't say it's his best portrayal in the MCU, but I'd definitely say it does have its high points. Plus we get to hear plus it has Chadwick Boseman in it again, so we can never go wrong with that. which is, and plus there's the poignancy of his lines near the end.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, yeah.
So there is that. But this episode definitely has a lot going for it. It's definitely. I think it just like knew it was like gonna be like this like kind of like a B zombie movie with superheroes in it. Just kind of ran with the concept, but does like with like the sly humor of that the MCU is known for, but also like some of the most gore, also making it the most gory installment in the MCU also.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an interesting juxtaposition, but I think it's one that the mood whiplash actually kind of helps with it. It's like it keeps you on your toes a lot, which I
agree. Honestly, I see what people are saying about the mood whiplash. Like, I really do get it. And then also LEB says, she says the ending felt like a Family Guy cutaway gag, and the ending is one of the things I have noticed with. I have issues with. So and then also this episode was a lot better than Goth Doctor Strange, but the previous one had a lot higher heights. I love Goth Doctor Strange as a, it's a descriptor there.
Yeah, everyone's bagging on the eyeliner.
All right, so Dragon, what do you think?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, I'm between this and what if T'Challa became Star-Lord as I think the best of the bunch we've gotten so far.
Really? Okay, glad to hear you like it so much.
I mean, yeah, part my instinctually, I want to say this is the best, but when I go over the episodes, I mean, T'Challa Star-Lord is really hard to beat.
It is a really solid one. Yeah.
Fittingly, he's in both though, so I'm kind of covered. But I think we found a way to adapt a classic multiversal tale via a what if, and it worked wonders, which I'm really impressed by. Oh my god, we found a way just to kind of not just do zombies, even though our title is pretty much implies like, yeah, we've wanted to do zombies for the heck of it.
Yeah.
We found a logical way of doing it through the format.
And today is also an exciting day for Spider-Man news too.
I know, which is just timing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I will admit, though, and the reason, honestly, before I heard about the tonal kind of issues and everything people have been having with, I did not have that, but hearing that, my initial kind of thought on like why I got like a 4 out of 5 was kind of the only flaw I have with the episode, which didn't bother me, but I do think the episode really could have used is that. Out of all the what if episodes, which for the most part have been pretty standalone, this one above all else needed a will return. Peter and the gang will return in. Needed like something to assuade people that we will see a part 2 to this. Because from what I understand, I mean, we are going to have some continuations in season 2, which I'm going to assume this would be amongst the group.
I would hope so.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the ending makes me think, oh man, there's got to be a part 2, and that's why everyone's upset because they loved it so much. And it's like, oh no, it ends here. And we
what's funny is that my initial reaction to Endgame was not glowing because of the ending, and now Endgame is like definitively, or I'm sorry, not Endgame, Infinity War.
Yeah.
Infinity War is like now in my like top 3 MCU movies, but like at the time I was like, what? That's how you're gonna end it?
But that too is kind of the great thing about this, though, how it captured, kind of the setting where, we're not gonna necessarily do the snap at the end of this, but we are very much in kind of that cliffhanger of involving Thanos. Of we are very much wait, what? We need more. So I'm just saying, I think this episode would have benefited from the Marvel Zombies will return next season or will return just ominously. I think that would have assuaged a lot of people's worry. I don't know, but that's the worst thing I really have to say about it. Everything else is quite small, but I loved it. I think it did a lot with the what if venue. It was great. We took a classic and we hit it out of the ballpark.
I can say they're definitely getting a lot more, how do you say, bold with their what if choices so far.
Yeah, definitely. So Monkey says somehow both episodes with T'Challa and with a too bad the world won't survive final moment. Yeah, that is kind of odd. Odd how that worked out.
So in this universe, T'Chaka survives, the universe gets destroyed.
Yeah. Let's see. LEB says. Oh God, LEB, no, LEB, I'm sorry, I accidentally put you on timeout. I didn't mean to do that.
Tiki,
I'm so sorry, LEB. Oh my God.
You hit the...
I'm so sorry.
I don't believe this.
No, Oh, poor
LEB,
LEB.
if you could hear me, I genuinely, I did not mean to do that at all. Please forgive me. That was a total slip on my end.
I don't know if she can see this, or I don't know if being blocked makes it so she can't comment.
I think it just means that she can't comment.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can. I think people blocked can see. I mean, if you explicitly blocked them from watching the video. But...
Yeah. So LEB, I am terribly sorry. That's totally my bad.
You blipped her. My God.
I blipped half of the people in the comments. I am the Thanos.
See, this is why you don't get a gauntlet.
And instead of 5 years, it's only for 5 minutes.
Yep.
I went to click on her comment, and then it pulled up the whole block user thing.
I'm just gonna hope she ends up more like Ant-Man than she does everyone else.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So one of the things I want to highlight here in this episode is the voice acting. Specifically, guys, is it fair to say I don't know if you'll agree with this, but I honestly think Ruffalo might be the MVP as far as translating his on-screen performance into a voice acting performance.
Well, beyond Benedict Cumberbatch, I would agree.
Dragon?
Well, it's interesting because everyone was ragging on Mark Ruffalo. I don't think us, but I'm saying in general, people were ragging on Ruffalo in the murder mystery. What if? Because again, it was kind of uncharted territory. We're fitting him in that, and it just I didn't really see a problem with it. But here,
I didn't see a problem with it either.
Yeah, no, a lot of people really they kind of said he was the weak link of the voice acting for that one.
I thought he had some of the better voice acting in that episode.
I mean, again, people that's people for you, but yeah, I thought I don't know because again, Cumberbatch, I felt he was most natural in the performance kind of area, but I mean here though, I think Ruffalo did an excellent job though. I think he did a great job in capturing what he did in Infinity War, particularly in those same setups, which made the diverging point even better. It's oh God, he's shown up to play that role from Infinity War, and then it's just gone so awry.
I just think the opening scene has such a great pace to it where, the situation just quickly goes from bad to worse.
Well, something I want to mention before we get too far into it, I want to talk about the setting. So I never would have guessed that we were going to do this at the start of Infinity War with Banner as our POV character. When you think about it, though, it does make a lot of sense, and I really like that. It's great because he was out of the action for 2 years anyway. Mm-hmm. He would be the perfect POV character. It's essentially the same role he does in Infinity War. Just what if he was more the main character of that story? And this also implies in part 2, Thor will be, Thor's going to be in part 2 with the Guardians. That's my speculation. If there is a part 2, they're going to help him save the day, maybe.
Ooh, that's a good. Yeah, that's interesting.
They're still in space.
I just how at the beginning, it's just Ebony Maw's just preparing to give his grand epic speech, and then the sorcerer's just warp Iron Man's and just blast the back of his head.
And we're kind of combining some setups here where, he's showing up for the group shot. He can't Hulk out. And then, of course, we'll be holding, you guys are screwed now. But we put it earlier. And it's okay, we're guys, a little brutal there. Okay, let's pull it back a little.
All right. So I just want to give a shout out to Connor Nielsen. By all means, folks, we'll have Connor on the show soon to talk about What If. But, in his classic hot coffee take, he says, this episode, as Terrence Fletcher from Whiplash would say, was a tonal effing catastrophe. 1 second, it's trying to be a serious emotional scene. The next, it's a silly Schumacher Batman film. I found the comedy horribly obnoxious and never-ending. Vision sacrifice is one of the most rushed, confusing things ever. I'll give you that on the Vision sacrifice scene. That's actually the comment that I was going to highlight from LAB before I accidentally Thanos snapped her. All right, and also we have Atomic Beast in the chat. Hey there, Atomic Beast. Glad to have you on board. He says, to be honest, I don't like how Ant-Man caused the Avengers' death when we already... Yeah, things are not going well for Hank Pym in these multiverses.
Yeah, Hank, again, I do...
Hank Pym is just having a bad couple of weeks, man.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, in episode 3, that was more premeditated. This one is more out of, he's not in control this time, though.
I just want a nice episode with Hank Pym that's just what if Hank Pym just had a nice day?
I do have a theory with all the Ant-Man stuff we are doing, though. It's that I think we're really pushing the Ant-Man roles in these two to hype up Ant-Man 3, give him the Kang of it all, but also the just how they knew how memorable this Hank Pym like being a murderer. Basically every time Hank Pym shows up now,
I honestly think the Hank Pym. So you want to be an Imagineer? You should have gone for the head. Yeah, yeah. Really sorry about that, Ellie. I really didn't mean to do that.
No Ellie badge for you.
Oh God.
But yeah. Every time Hank Pym shows up now, it should be like you should feel like a sense of doom in these what ifs. Like, oh,
I know, right?
Hank Pym showing up.
It's like what will Hank Pym do next?
I mean, I honestly don't mind the Ant-Man stuff just because I really dug the Wasp sacrifice scene. I thought that was one of the more creative uses of the zombie tropes, the sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then I also, I mean, come on, who can say no to Scott Lang in a jar?
Yeah, we did like the Mars Attacks thing too.
I mean, come on. Well, I would say more Futurama. Mars Attacks came first, though. To be fair,
I mean, basically, it's Mars Attacks meets Futurama.
Yeah.
I mean, the jar makes.
How can you say no to? I mean, I totally understand. Like people like Connor are, probably thrown off by how jokey Scott is. But like they literally explain in episode, like he feels bad about the joking, like it's just like a defense mechanism. So it's like, I feel like that was literally like Marvel having its cake and eating it too in the best way for me personally.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like he's like, oh, sorry, I did it again.
Like, guys, I know this joking isn't appropriate right now, but I can't help myself. It's an MCU movie.
Well, it's also just the fact that he's in his head's in a jar. I mean, he might as well be chipper about things.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, he's not going to quit while he's ahead.
True.
Nah. All right.
But,
okay, so
sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Dragon.
Yeah, so just the origin of things too. So rarely was there an explanation in the Marvel Zombies comic for the outbreak, and I think now this is somewhat. Some people I think are looking into this episode with maybe a little too much of a microscope, despite the Ant-Man role and things. So we have a tie in Ant-Man and the Wasp where we go to the quantum realm, and Hank Pym basically learns that Janet was infected with some like a quantum virus, which I think is a good explanation. But the diehard What If fans are saying, well, doesn't it usually have to be a choice though, like a choice to diverge? Like, how is that a choice? How is that just like how does that even happen? Well, you know what? It's a what if. Like we're changing an event. It's like it's the same difference. I mean, come on. It's like how else do you get zombies in What If? Okay, what choice is made to create zombies?
I hear you.
Well, I mean, in the comics, was also responsible for the Watcher and the Sentry, and it might be kind of hard to do that.
That's what I'm saying. The Sentry, he's isn't even in the MCU yet, so it would have been really hard. But yeah, it was so tragic to me seeing poor Scott Lang eaten by Hank Pym. I was just like, no, because
speaking of that, like when that happened at first, I was like, because I saw I saw Paul Rudd's name in the credits. I was like, did they really just get Paul Rudd to just go like, hi, Mrs. Van Dyne, and that's it?
Then again, it just crushes me because Ant-Man's like the most likable hero and the most likable franchise in the MCU. So when something bad happens to Ant-Man, like, no!
I don't know, guys. I gotta tell you, there's just something like so damn endearing about Ant-Man, the head, Scott Lang's head, just being super optimistic with Chala and Peter Parker, just trying to look on the bright. I don't know. It was so super endearing
that he survived as a head because it was just too sad. One could say it was so sad.
All right. So just to highlight a couple comments here, Tommy B says actually, zombie Hank Pym did go for Cap's head, particularly the neck. I thought that was the biggest laugh in the whole episode.
That has to be a meta thing because the one Avenger he didn't kill in the murder mystery was Cap because he was on ice.
You're right. I just thought that timing was just so great. How it's like, the Avengers come in and Cap's about to do his big heroic speech, just ow.
I had one.
I'm just thinking we put the watchers continuing to get more like dry with this humor. Like, oof, that happened.
I had one nitpick with here's the thing. Logic wise, everything lined up. It wasn't like Doctor Strange with a what if didn't make any sense. We're all good there. There was one nitpick I had, one inconsistency. Cap shouldn't have had that. That's the Civil War costume, and I remember he turned into Nomad. He was on the run for those 2 years, so he should not have had.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is. Oh man, that's a good catch. I didn't even think about that.
And again, I want to. I was trying to look if there was any wiggle room there, but no, he wouldn't have had like the end game.
No, that's a good catch, Dragon. It's like he wouldn't have even been he wouldn't have even been connected to the Avengers at all.
Well, I'm sure like the circumstance brought them all together, and plus
I'll give it a we don't care, but it's it's not really an enthusiastic we don't care. Like that's honestly kind of an overlook.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's see. But yeah, so Spider-Man, just the whole. I love pairing Spider-Man and Wasp together, and the fact that she kind of lost her optimist in Scott Lang, so she kind of found a kind of a nice familiar element of that with Peter Parker, and that's why she's kind of bonded with the kid. I thought that was really nice.
It's the same. She actually fell to the zombie play before she got reunited with his head.
Yeah, I know. That's what makes it even more tragic. We gave Scott that moment where he sees the zombie
Wasp. I love that. That moment was great pathos for Scott right there.
Absolutely. Just so again, one of the best elements of the episode, just to call it here, I love our ragtag survivor teams. Just to quickly, kind of fire.
Yeah, it was definitely the best ensemble of MCU heroes so far.
Yes, we had Bruce Banner as our main guy going in. We have Wasp, who was there at ground zero when it all happened. Spider-Man, who is kind of our other lead of the piece.
Spider-Man's amazing. I mean, we'll get into it.
But... Also spectacular. Also web of. Also superior, depending who you ask. Anyway, Happy Hogan.
Happy Hogan was freaking awesome, and his death was like the best death in the whole thing, I think.
Wham! Wham!
I love that we gave him from Civil War. We gave him like a little watch repulsor glove.
Mm-hmm. And Kurt again.
Yeah, Kurt. Kurt from Dave the Smolchin. Yeah. Of course, we had a Bucky. We had the Cloak of Levitation. We had Okoye and
Kurt is Dave DeSmolchin.
What?
Kurt is Dave DeSmolchin.
Yeah, don't you remember Ant-Man? He's like little Baba Yaga.
I know the character. I just never put two and two together that him and Polka Dot Man were the same person.
Ant-Man. What did you think I meant when I kept saying he was from Ant-Man?
All right.
I am zombie.
Yes.
And okay, so just to highlight some comments here, guys. Sorry, don't mean to. We got some good stuff here. Dragon, I'm sure you don't want me to read this, but I can't help myself. Who else but Hank Pym? It's Hank Pym. Hank Pym. You never really know what he's going to spread. It's Hank Pym. Hank Pym. Pimmity, 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 now you're dead.
Okay, well, that was a good Family Guy, though, so that's okay.
All right. Hatbox Ghost, but it's Scott Lang.
Okay, that is hysterical, though.
Hey, guys, I don't know how I got here, but I'm just kind of going with it.
It'd be kind of funny if they did a Marvel overlay of the Haunted Mansion.
Jacob, I actually kind of did that a little bit. Dragon knows. Not necessarily an overlay, but I did kind of like a version of the Winchester Mystery House with Marvel characters. Yeah, it's a fun time. Anyways, LEB says, "What if Hank Pym had a pretty good day?" That's what I'm saying, Ellie. That's the Hank Pym I want. That's the episode I want. All right. Let's see. All right. So yeah, let's. Where do you want to go from here, guys?
Let's also Sharon Carter's want to throw her in there too.
Sharon Carter, yeah.
Okay,
she's genuinely way more likable than she was in Falcon Winter Soldier. I'll give her that.
Well, and again, we're missing information on that one, which we'll clear up. But,
she's got the sacrifice with Happy. That was a good moment.
See, that's the great thing about this. Again, with our setting, we're filling in that 2 years worth of blanks, and also it's really heady about the episodes that we're in a world that's already in its essence been Thanos snapped before Thanos even arrives, really, which is really interesting.
I'm covered in Sharon.
Oh, speaking of which, the darkest and most violent episode Marvel thing possibly we've ever gotten. But again, no blood. It's like it's like the robot proviso in animation. They're zombies, and if we don't show blood, we're good.
Yeah,
as violent as you want. They're feeding on people. We're especially now we're in a very virus kind of virus centric world. Zombie virus. We're all good. Relatable.
Hey ho! All right. Let's see. So, Monkey says that last scene of Doug Days, but it's Hank Pym in one of the giant ants.
I swear to you, I was going to pitch that, but I figured we move
on. God. Let's see. Monkey said, definitely get the fun of that character's here throughout the episode. Thanks, ignoring. The opening credits are an issue.
What do you mean?
I gotta say, the opening credits do kind of take some of the fun out of it.
When you say,
I mean, not everyone's there in the opening credits. Like, I don't think Chadwick's name was there, but still.
No. Oh yeah, you're right. The whole surprise factor. Right?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, for episode 3, they did remove Michael Douglas's name.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I feel like if it's a twist in the episode, then they do a good job of keeping it secret. But I don't know. It's some of those cameos I would have liked to rather seen play out. Anyways,
so our Spider-Man Homecoming pool with kind of our visual namesake here. I really liked it as a way of introducing all of our characters. It very on brand for Peter Parker.
So you want to survive the zombie apocalypse might be the most Peter Parker thing that he's ever done in the MCU.
Very Zombieland meets Spider-Man.
Well, it's basically continuing the trend of Spider-Man themed things, beginning with the low budget production.
Yeah,
like the film by Peter Parker, and then the very awkward in memoriam that Far From Home had.
Yep. It's oh man, I wonder what they're going to do for No Way Home in that regard. They gotta.
To be fair though, that one was not the result of Peter Parker's work, but still.
Oh yeah, I mean he was there, but yeah, you're right.
The only thing that this misses is miss at the ending is Spider-Man going, "What the fuck."
I'm imagining they're going to start No Way Home off with cell phone footage of Ground Zero of him being outed. I imagine that's what they're going to. If they're going to do a low budget thing, it's all that they can do, I guess.
Well, the fix that they could have seen Thanos as a zombie and have Spider-Man go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Yep. So let's see. Here's a thing. It makes sense in the episode, but doesn't make it bug me any less. It's fine. It's just the fact that he was sans mask every scene but one in the episode. I mean, it's just here's the thing. I know it's because it's like what we said in Far From Home. Where it's like what he said in Far From Home was like, hey, everyone knows who you are. You don't need to wear the mask. It's going to get in your way. So I get that, but by the same token, it's almost like the actor having in their contract. Remember, it was that trend through all the superhero movies. You can never get away with it. The fact that it follows you in the animation, like, no, he's contractual. We need to know what he looks like under the mask, but he's not even there. It's not even Tom Holland. Why are we?
All right.
Well, it's because of Sony's contract where they didn't even get him for this.
Well, no, yeah, I know. I'm just saying the fact that why do we need to see him on? We can't put him in the mask for some of this.
I mean, that didn't bother me just because I like to see the emotion on his face, and
Sure. No, it makes sense. It's not a problem at all with the episode. I'm just saying for me, I like seeing Spider-Man with the mask on at times.
And to be fair, though, in the midst of a zombie apocalypse, the mask is probably the least of his worries.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do y'all think of the glorious shot of Spider-Man with the Doctor Strange cloak?
It's awesome.
It suits him.
It does.
It's like, soon, folks. Soon.
Yeah. I like the idea of the cape, the cloak. Yes?
I hope they put that costume in the today announced Spider-Man 2 game.
I don't know. There's a good chance. There's a chance. If there's so many. You saw how many they're not going to do the same skins over again. You think there would be new Spider-Man skins, right?
Well, I mean, maybe they'll incorporate some of the new ones, some of the ones they had in there if they're carrying over the suit abilities, but I mean, but I do hope they add new suits, and I kind of want that to be one of the new suits.
Listen, I figured they would add outside the story relevant ones, they would add a whole bunch of kind of new suits that weren't in the game. But I don't know. Anyway, okay.
Right, so John Kelling's in the comments. He said worth an entire action figure. Yeah, honestly, I'm not even really an action figure guy, but I would probably get an action figure.
I think they're actually
doing
that one, Tiki. They put out they put up a bunch of the Marvel Legends for the Disney Plus shows, and next year, at the top of next year, they're going to have them for What If. So there's a Captain Carter figure. I think there's an actual one for him.
Nice.
I think about it. I think. All right, let's see.
Zombie Thanos, yeah or nay? We'll get there, Ellie. We'll get there.
So should we start with the big Spider-Man thing?
What, the fact that they actually give him pathos?
Well, I was thinking about specifically the name, but yeah, sure, the pathos. Yeah, it's.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, the name. It's like at this point, as far as I'm concerned, it's too little, too late. But the big thing for me wasn't even just the name drop. I mean, don't get me wrong. The name drop is appreciated. Like, it's about
it's
damn
sad
time.
that we have to get it here, but still, it was major, though. The fact that we finally said it. They finally said it.
It's about damn time.
It took a zombie apocalypse from the mention of the thing, but they said it.
Am I the only one who doesn't even care?
I'm just saying, it's just kind of ridiculous. They've gone out of their way just not to say the name, and it took them a zombie.
Jacob, I care deeply, so yeah, maybe.
Well, I don't.
I that's fair. That's totally fair. I mean, I'm not trying to poo-poo your opinion.
Well, I mean, I have no big deal about it, but I just don't think it's a big deal. Like, oh my God, they mentioned Uncle Ben. It's like, yeah, pretty much everybody and their mother knows who Uncle Ben is. It's not a big deal.
This is the fact that they ran away from it for like all these movies, though. They can't.
Okay, well, I mean, to kind of build into Jacob's point, though, what I liked more than the name drop was how the name drop built into the writing, where it really explained the Tom Holland Spider-Man's more optimistic point of view. With the fact that like he's lost so much that all he can't help but like it's kind of like the Scott Lang approach in a way, right?
Yeah, think about it. Spider-Man has yes.
Yeah, I appreciate that much. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, think about it. This Spider-Man, he has literally lost everything. He's lost his mentor in Iron Man. He lost his aunt. He lost Uncle Ben. He lost his friends like Happy. I'm assuming the rest like Ned and MJ. I'm assuming. So yeah, Spider-Man. He just has like his kind of his ragtag kind of group here, and it's literally I like how he reflects on like I was offered the opportunity to become an Avenger, and I don't know, maybe part of me I'm part of the blame here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Again, he was really nice glue, for, like kind of the webbing, if you will, for the team that kind of bonded them together. So speaking of,
and I can't stress enough how much the horror movie fan like Seth Green vibe just totally fits the character.
I think it more like Shaun of the Dead, but
right. Wait, are you you're not thinking of Jamie Kennedy, are you?
I am thinking of Jamie Kennedy. You're right. I'm sorry.
Because every time he keeps saying, it's like, what does he mean by Seth Green? He means Jamie Kennedy again, doesn't he?
I am mixing up 90s comedic actors.
Anywho. So we had some zombie Avengers in this.
We haven't talked about Bucky at all yet.
Well, we kind of mentioned he was on the team, but you're right.
Bucky was solid. I don't really think he was, that big of a player.
Yeah, I'm just saying we just haven't. Like I just really think that his participation in the video was kind of funny.
Yeah,
it was.
Yes, but speaking of, I was going to use kind of Zombie Cap as the segue to Bucky. So we have Zombie Cap, Hawkeye, and Falcon in this.
Yeah, I love the way that Falcon in particular is built up because it's like we just saw Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it's like, oh crap. Round 2, baby, except this time it's not going to be couples therapy.
I like that we took the Civil War lineup. We took it's kind of like a Civil War rematch, but zombified, and it's all Team Cap.
Yeah, totally.
And when I love the fact that when they bisect Falcon, Bucky's like, I should feel upset, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I think Sebastian Stan continues to be one of the more awkward transitions from live action to voice acting. But I mean, honestly, Sebastian Stan just being an awkward guy in general is part of his charm for me. So it doesn't matter to me that much.
Yeah.
We did find a cool way to get Bucky the shield through this kind of the situation there, where he goes up against Zombie Cap and he takes that shield because sadly he has to.
Mm-hmm.
It's the end of the line, Cap.
I don't know how I feel about that callback.
Oh really? I assumed that you would have gone gaga over that. Just it's the line.
I am. Here's the thing. I think I like it more.
Usually that line is like catnip for you.
It is. It is obviously my favorite moment in the MCU without question. I'm just saying I'm more on the side of liking it, but there is a hesitation. I'll tell you what that hesitation is. All right. On one hand, it's like if anyone has the right to use that line, it's him. And there's that bittersweet recognition that, oh yeah, this is the end of the line. I never thought that day would come, but yeah, it is. Just that realization of it. But by the same token, this gives me pause after oh, he said the line is it's also kind of a kill pun. And it's kind of like a timing thing. Really, you're gonna say that now? You killed your best friend. But that's what I'm saying. Again, it's kind of, I think it fits sort of like the tone of again, we're gonna have Scott lying on a jar, and we're gonna have it's the bittersweet end time sort of thing. Where
I mean, I didn't really take it as a joke. I took it as it's bittersweet.
That's what I'm saying. I bring it up, Tiki, because people online have been really all over the place. They're saying it's savage. He would say that, or it's there's how could he say that to his friend? And I was and again, if anyone's gonna have a right to say it, it's gonna be him. So I think it's fine.
I mean, it's clear he's not entirely happy about the situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that got conveyed to anyone saying how dare he say it that way or defiling that moment. Is a huge fan of that moment. I think it's okay. I think we're good.
All right. So what's next?
All right, let's see. Again, Hawkeye killed Happy. Just Hawkeye very deadly in zombie form.
Okay, I got to admit that was maybe my biggest plot hole, and it came less from an MCU continuity point of view and more of a zombie movie point of view.
What?
I don't buy that a zombie could shoot arrows like that. I just don't.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. They walk the line where, if I recall... And
I know that in Marvel Zombies they talk, and that's one of the big things I don't like about the Marvel Zombie story and why I like it more as a concept.
I think they hit a good middle ground, though. They don't talk, but they retain the abilities. How else could...
They retain the abilities, yes, but I buy, Zombie Cap knowing how to use the shield and Iron Man knowing how to use the suit. I don't know. I just think that the bow and arrow thing is more of a marksman skill than a power.
Also, to be fair, they weren't unkillable versus what they would usually be so he was good enough. All right.
I would honestly think that using the shield and Iron Man's repulsor would be a bit harder to do than an arrow.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a good.
Well, like I said, with that, I just use the argument that both of those are kind of more powers, whereas the arrow is more kind of a skill. If that makes sense.
I mean, sure. It's I don't know. I think it's a middle ground. That's why
it really doesn't matter. It's a nitpick.
All right, so plot. I really liked the plot points. You could have had a V8 moment. We go to Camp Lay, which honestly should have been a little bit more destroyed because I don't know how much damage that missile did, but it might have just been one building, so I have no gripes on that. Should Camp Lay be completely destroyed? But no, it's just the one. It was just Zola's part of it. We go to Camp Lay. And we find Vision there. The fact that, oh my God, Vision would be zombie-proof. Why didn't I think of that? He would be.
It's that's the benefit of being an android.
Yeah, and he's made of vibranium. It's he's on.
I still don't buy that Korg wouldn't be zombie-proof, though.
Well, Korg wouldn't be here, though.
I know. I'm just saying. Dragon and I have had the Korg zombie argument.
He's a rock guy. How can he be zombified? He's made of rocks.
Well, I believe that the Thing was in Marvel Zombies.
Wait, was he?
I believe he was.
Well, perhaps if one of his own kind contracted the virus and then pass it on to him, that's possible.
Okay, that's a good point, Jacob. But still, it's the question of could they pierce the rock? And I completely forgot about the Thing. So, Tiki, you might be right about that, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, does Korg have eyes, or Korg has humanoid eyes, doesn't he?
Well, technically, they could Ant-Man could shrink down and then bite him from the inside.
There you go.
Ant-Man.
There you go.
Yeah, Ant-Man could. I'm talking about how does it get to Korg in space? But yeah.
Well, look, Korg being in space is that's kind of the outlier. I'm more talking broad spectrum.
Well, I mean, even broadly, you need Ant-Man to do that. Otherwise, you don't have that, is my point.
Right.
So, I mean,
okay.
I guess something like that must have happened to the Thing.
I don't know. At the end of the day, guys, I just really love the idea of Korg just very politely being like, hey, man, can I eat your brains? Just a little nibble.
But then you have your talking zombies, which you can't have in your world, apparently.
Korg would be an exception. All right.
Sure, that's how it works.
Or we can have a zombie Meek too. we can't have zombie Korg without zombie Meek.
God, so we really
okay. Hold on, I'm gonna shout out some comments before we go further. So Monkey says it's nice to have a little full circle moment after getting the Buggy finds roaring zombie Steve bit, seeing it at D23 a couple years ago. Yeah, that is cool, Rob. That is cool. So John Kelling says Bucky got the shield and all it cost was a Sharon.
Yep.
Let's see.
Janet got herself covered in a Sharon.
Yeah. Let's see. Monkey says, pictures zombie Hawkeye just shooting arrows into himself, and also I like how Monkey is stylizing zombie and putting an exclamation point in between the zombie and the character. That's a good stylistic choice there, Rob.
Remember, Hawkeye's design is him full of arrows, like impaled.
That would be fun.
Maybe there was like a trial and error before he got really good at the arrows.
Well, you know what? I can buy that.
It's like he fired a few, but they didn't really hit to the reverberate or something. Or maybe he's like putting in the quiver, he stabs him in himself.
All right. John Kelling says zombie shoots arrows, unbelievable. Zombie flies a rocket wingsuit, no issue. Yeah. I mean, you got me. That's totally fair.
As we pointed out earlier.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Yeah, we reverse engineered WandaVision, which I thought was really good.
Okay, here's the thing with WandaVision, with the Wanda stuff. I do agree with people about the pacing. I honestly really wish that this episode would have been 45 minutes. I think that would have been perfect. It would have given just a little bit more time to explore the WandaVision of it all.
Yeah, we could have had more time before we realized what Vision was doing, something like that.
But I mean, conceptually, goddamn, I love the idea, like you said, Dragon, of the role reversal of the WandaVision thing. I just think it's such a cool idea.
And also, they have a very key role, given that he's the last stone, and also their relationship is all throughout Infinity War, so it's very fitting.
And
so, yeah, I do agree with the poor pacing, but I think, honestly, it's just probably just a byproduct of the 30-minute runtime.
I think one of the great jokes in this, one of the great callback jokes to the MCU is Kurt's Baba Yaga thing being directed at a zombie Scarlet Witch. I think it's genius. Yes. It's like finally it actually applied to something.
And it actually makes sense.
Yep.
I mean, and Vision's plan is actually kind of disturbing.
Yeah, it's just kind of basically feeding. He could not bring himself to kill Wanda, much like her to him, and it's
after all, what is grief if not love persevering?
Mm-hmm. I gotta tell you, I really do like the hope that we tease here that the Mind Stone. I believe the Mind Stone mixed with some Wakandan technology could be a viable zombie cure because it's going to rewrite the mind so they're back in control. I mean, I don't know how cosmetic it's going to look, but I buy it. I mean, it looked good for Scott. Right. I mean, it worked for Scott, so I guess it's fine. He was just ahead by that point, mind you. I wonder if they'd all be heads in jars, if that was just like what was left of him. I'm not sure.
The point I took away from it was that it was what was left of him.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
At least they were able to save his head. I mean, and everything.
Yeah, well, it's better than just an elbow.
Well, yeah.
Let's see. Monkey says the Bartok the Magnificent fan in me always appreciates Kurt's Baba Yaga runner.
All right.
You know what's crazy? I saw Baba Yaga adapted once in that Hellboy movie. It was sick and wrong because I think it was accurately adapted, but just Baba Yaga's sick.
Oh, the bad Hellboy movie.
Yeah, the bad one, the terrible one.
I thought she was in like Hellboy 1 or 2.
No, heavens, no.
All right. Yeah. John Kelling says, "Careful, Vision. Your Hank Pym is showing."
Yeah.
All right.
Of course, we reveal this through, again, completely shocked. Like, oh my God, T'Challa's in this story? Man, we really got a lot out of Boseman between these two seasons.
Well, we did see T'Challa, see Black Panther in the opening with the other Avengers.
Well, I'm saying he didn't speak, though, is my point.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It made sense. You're right, though. It does make sense that he was there. So I'm just saying the fact that we didn't know how much real estate we have with Boseman, if he was just landlocked into T'Challa's Star-Lord. But yeah, if I mean, we have the Killmonger episode coming up, so assumedly T'Challa would pop up in that. So might be more Boseman. I don't know.
And I think it's implied that he like lost his leg because Vision cut it off and fed it to Wanda.
Yeah,
that was the implication.
And remember, he's the only one who could do that because he's in a vibranium suit. So that's the only way he can cut. Only Vision could do that.
Yeah, God. Oh.
Because think about it, T'Challa is zombie-proof. That's why he survived for so long, because that suit, again, you can't bite through vibranium unless you are the Vision.
That's a good point. Sure.
Speaking of which, that's a callback to, I don't know if it was the original Marvel Zombies or like one of the many sequels or whatnot, but there was a memorable image of T'Challa having like parts of him eaten off, but he, for the most part, he's like still hobbling around.
We got to admit, he's definitely a trooper.
He is, and again, I love our final team there. We got Spider-Man, Black Panther, Cloak of Levitation, Scott Lang. We lost everyone in that, man.
Yeah.
Well, at least the cloak is okay.
It's like a Suicide Squad episode, you know? It's like
especially considering what happened to the cloak in the last episode. It's nice to see it okay.
Right.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Okay, LEB says, wait, Spider-Man jump scared him. Oh my god, Poggers, Five Nights at Freddy's.
I
just highlighted that just because I want to point out, I did love the jump scare moment, just how genuinely apologetic Peter Parker.
Oh my god, I jump scared you. I'm so sorry.
And then also, I love how abrupt Vision's appearance is, and then Bruce just being so relieved, like, "Oh, Vision, thank God,
you're a Vision."
Yep. So let's see. Monkey has a really good one here. It says, "What if Killmonger sold ice cream?" I'd like to point something out though. If he did sell ice cream, I would not trust it. Because remember when he gave people coffee? In Black Panther, it gave people poisoned coffee. So I would not trust that man with ice cream.
So John Kelly makes an interesting point. He says Hank Pym held Black Panther hostage in Marvel Zombies, cutting off pieces to eat little by little.
That was okay. He's the one who did that to him.
Yeah, so that's pretty much like not a direct adaptation, but it's an interesting kind of parallel in the story.
So even here, Hank Pym's responsible for that.
Oh God, I know, right? Like, what's up with Hank Pym, dude?
Hank Pym was crazy in the comics for a spell, and they kind of
I remember that. Yeah,
they brought that in other things. So I guess that's what happened with Marvel Zombies, and here, part of the course.
Like, dang it, Hank Pym.
Okay, let's see.
And LEB says, jokes in here, Jackie, that was just a play to get you to say poggers.
Huh.
All right.
Sorry.
All right, let's see. So, unless you guys have anything else, I think we talked about kind of our Wakanda kind of hanging Chad, as it were.
So what do you guys think? I mean, we already kind of talked about it, but Thanos being pretty abrupt, yay, nay, question mark.
I love that ending. I mean, I wanted more of it, clearly. I'm assuming they're going to do a part 2, otherwise, I mean, taking it at face value, it is kind of like that murder mystery episode, it is sort of this it's like the episode as is. It's a compelling hope in an apocalypse story that it's there. It has like a bittersweet ending. It's like it's the hope going up against impossible odds, which may not work out. It's like that. It's like the ending of Batman: Soul of the Dragon. Remember where it's like you have a feeling things are gonna work out, but we don't know. We don't know. Only here it's a little bit more than negative. Okay, they're outnumbered here, and Thanos 5 out of the 6 stones. And he's waiting, and I just love, like, oh god, and they're bringing the last stone to him. And we saw how much trouble they had on Titan trying to get the glove off of Thanos. Can you imagine what they're gonna do? And this is just them like Bruce Banner's the only one. He's only heard the name. Sorry, let me rephrase it. Bruce Banner's the only one who's encountered Thanos of this bunch, and he's not there. So they have no idea what they're walking into.
God, you're right.
Maybe the cloak, and I don't even know well, that's good. They're going to go into Thanos completely unprepared. I can only assume Thor is going to swoop in and help him out. Like the Guardians of Thor are the only ones who can save him in this situation if they show up. And I don't know. I just thought it was like a great kind of down ending. Like, oh, they're walking to this doom situation where Thanos, he would end up in Wakanda for the last stone.
The question is, though, who was able to sneak up to Thanos and infect him?
Well, remember, the children of Thanos were infected, so if they reported back, they would have... Here's what I assume happened, very simply.
That's a good point.
I assume we changed the events of the Time Stone within all this. He probably made the rounds with everything else, so he kind of ran to the Guardians, they got away, you got the Reality Stone, but... Doctor Strange, because he was infected, did not go to Titan to get their little let's get the glove off Thanos plan. Ergo, we saw Doctor Strange, Wong, and Iron Man fighting our guys there, and they got defeated. So Thanos was like, oh, well, there's the time, so I'm going to grab from this corpse of a zombie, and then one of, hey, guys, how you doing? They're going to bite him. I think that's what happened.
I guess that makes sense.
That's how we got all the stones, but one.
But he still seems to be like a lot of the others to be somewhat aware of what's going on and how to even use the gloves in the first place.
Well, I think the gauntlet might have insulated him a little bit, but who knows? Who knows how coherent he would be in a second part? Who knows?
Well, too bad this Thanos can't be reasoned with.
Yeah.
I don't think that T'Challa's speech will get to him this time.
No. Can you? Oh, Tiki, it would be great. You get your wish
What?
come true. In a part 2, you would have Peter Quill coming back to Earth, and it'd be like, "What happened?
Oh my god! Yeah. Those
Zombies! I'm gone. Wouldn't that be great? That's how you get your."
It's like I'm gone. It's like I'm gone for 30 years, and this happens.
I must have been more important than I thought.
Oh god.
All right, guys. On that note, I think we can kind of start to round things up. Do you have anything else you want to cover?
Again, just Bruce Banner sacrifice. Also, like the Hulk came out at the end to fight a bunch of zombies. That's kind of cool.
And giant zombie was just frustratingly throwing a zombie onto the jet.
To Scott Lang's horror, like, oh god, what the hope?
And basically, it's like she's not even trying to stop. She's like, ah. It's like, all right, here, just take this and leave.
Okay, so I think that'll about do it for us, guys. I don't think we officially know what the next one is, but we have reason to guess it's going to be the Killmonger episode. Maybe. I don't want to promise that. So.
I did, looking at the poster, though, we do have a Gamora who looks a lot like she became Thanos, so that might be another what if we're getting. So if they switch it out of order, because looking at that poster, she's wearing Thanos' armor and has this big helicopter blade weapon. So I'm assuming that's what that one is. That might be, is either that or Killmonger. Assumedly the Avengers are going to be saved for last, but also the next one could be Party Thor. So we'll see.
I still have no idea what the hell they're even going to do for Party Thor. I don't know how you would turn that into a full episode.
Oh, something we should mention before we go here. I almost forgot.
Yeah.
T'Challa's. We pulled one of the great Black Panther lines. So this episode is very fitting.
Oh my god! Thank you. Oh, we would have been totally remiss if we didn't mention that. Yeah.
The whole, my culture believes, death is not the end, which of course is a very prominent line, which now carries even more water than it ever has before, and applying it to the zombie thing, which I think feeds the tone of what the ending is. Like there is hope, but also there is this chaos of the dead. The dead are walking in a way even he didn't imagine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Very. I mean, God, it really goes full circle with him. It really is crazy how much that tied into everything.
Yeah. I'm really impressed that we're going to have more appearances from just between these two seasons beyond what we thought possible with the first episode. That's going to be really interesting.
Okay, John Kelling says Party Thor throws a party so awesome it ends the world.
And I'm going to call it Ragnarok. Surtur, bring the kegs of mead.
Ragnarok 2021.
Okay. That would honestly be a very interesting story if that actually came true.
Yeah.
Like it awakens, so it's like, I said be quiet!
Oh god.
And that's what causes Ragnarok.
Oh god. What if Mjolnir was Hank Pym instead of
Oh god.
Okay, that's not a great what if.
All right, on that note, big thanks to Miscellaneous, John Kelling, Ellie B, and Atomic Beast for joining us in the comments tonight. You guys are all awesome. As always, we're lucky to have you. All right, so that'll do it for us this week as we holster our remotes till the next installment calls for the draw. Mano a mano. Just Plus and us.
Beware, Pym!